Macca's Guides.
Hey guys, Macca here, playing Crash Bandicoot N.Sane Trilogy on Xbox One. This is my video in order to show you how to get all 26 of the available gems in Crash Bandicoot 1. The levels are shown in the order in which you can unlock the gems. For a lot of the earlier levels, you'll have to come back with colored gems. I'll explain all of that kind of as we go. Just keep in mind, the level order is based on the possibility for you to acquire gems and not on the game order of levels, as that would actually be a lot more confusing to the viewer. The requirements for getting gems are pretty simple. All you need to do is get all of the boxes in a level, and if the gem is a colored gem, which there are 6 of in the game, you'll have to do that level without dying additionally. Also, about half of this video uses PlayStation gameplay that I captured last year, and then the second half contains Xbox gameplay I captured this year. At the end of the video, you will see me unlock the achievement. Also, although this video does show you all of the gems and everything you need to get in order to get 100% in the game, it's not necessarily a full achievement walkthrough, as there will be some relics you'll need to mop up afterwards, which are basically speed runs, and there's a couple miscellaneous things which you might need to mop up as well, but this will get you that first major step, which is getting to 100% in the game. We'll start off with the first level of the game, and that is in Sanity Beach. For this level, the boxes are pretty simple. There is a small split in the road near the end of the level, and we will need to make sure to take both sides of the split in order to get all the boxes. Whenever you do get all the boxes in a level, the gem should spawn right in front of the exit to the level. By the way, you shouldn't really be able to miss it as long as you've gotten all the boxes, and if it's colored again, you will need to make sure to complete the level without dying. Additionally, for some of the levels, I am doing them for the 3rd or 4th time, so you won't actually see the gem on screen. Like, for example, right here, the gem will just be literally right in front of you. You can't miss it. But for some of the levels, you won't actually see me pick them up. Now, the next level we can do for the gem is called Boulders. This one's actually pretty easy. You shouldn't really miss any of the boxes as long as you're paying attention. Just continue running into the screen, making sure to grab everything that is obvious to you, and without a doubt, you should be able to get all 16. The gem will spawn at the end before exiting the level. Now we're actually going to skip a few levels. The next level we can get a gem in is called Hog Wild. This one involves riding the hog, and you can steer left and right, and you can jump either a short jump or a long jump. There are a couple of tricky sections in terms of actually just completing the level, but the boxes themselves aren't too bad, and you guys shouldn't have too much trouble getting to the end of the level with all of the boxes and then collecting the gem. Basically, you can't miss it again before you exit the level. Now, the next thing we need to do in order to proceed is do the Papu boss battle. This one is incredibly easy. All you need to do is watch out so you don't get hit by his attack, which usually is very easily readable. And then as soon as he does slam to the ground, you want to try to jump on his head. Do this like 5 times and you should be able to easily beat him. Boss battles don't actually give you any gems, but they do give you achievements or trophies for your first time beating them. And they're obviously required in order to make progress in the game. The next level we'll be doing for a gem is called Up the Creek. It's also the first level in which we will need to grab all of the character tokens in order to get all of the boxes. Additionally, at any point, I didn't mention this earlier, but it should be pretty obvious, you can press the Y button or the triangle button in order to bring up your current inventory. It'll show you the amount of boxes you have smashed as well as the amount of character tokens you have. Now, all of the enemies here should be pretty easy. It's somewhat easy platforming. Once you get the hang of all the controls, these things get a lot easier, but the game can be incredibly frustrating on your first kind of times through. Obviously, you'll need to grab the checkpoints as well whenever possible. Feel free to take your time through some of these platforms, and you don't really have to rush maybe as quickly as I do. The major trick for this level is that you will be going through it, and eventually you'll reach a kind of metal box with a exclamation point on it. You will need to melee that box and then backtrack to where you were before. So you'll see that coming up here. I actually climb a log, and underneath that log there's like 3 boxes, but we'll have to come back. So you can see I have 9 right now. We walk forward along these lily pads. We smash this box on the left, and now we backtrack to where we came from once the lily pads respawn. And you should notice 2 boxes on the bottom left of this log. So make sure you smash all of those. Make sure you grab the TNT without actually spinning into it. And coming back to the metal box, we should now be at 11 out of 48. You can then just continue the level. Make sure you grab the character tokens when appropriate. And you should be able to easily grab your gem at the end. The next thing we need to do in order to proceed is to do the Roo boss battle. This one's pretty easy. The Roo character can jump basically 1 square away from himself, so try to keep your distance from him when possible. The objective here is to jump on the TNT, and then it'll start the countdown. And the idea is to get the TNT moving towards Roo, and hopefully it explodes kind of as he jumps back. It can be a little bit difficult. As you can see, I've already grabbed 2 TNTs and have been unsuccessful. But if you time it right, you should be able to quickly and easily defeat him. The only strategy I would kind of recommend is to stay near the top of the screen for the first 2 hits, and you should be able to kind of very quickly and easily take him out. You can also kind of hide in the top left corner. The next gem we can attain is on the level of the Lost City, and for this level we will be required to complete it without dying, as it has a colored token which is green. So we need to actually go from all the way from the beginning all the way to the end without losing a life. Now if you do die inside of the character token areas, I believe that's fine, as long as you don't die outside of those and actually lose a life. Now for this one, it's overall pretty simple. It is a longer level. You will need to make sure to grab all 6 of the character tokens, as there's 2 extra areas. And the main thing you need to focus on is this right here. Inside of this cave, make sure you jump on the box and you will hit a switch above your head automatically. That is 100% mandatory in order to make it through. Also make sure to grab this character token without beating the box. And for the most part, the rest is somewhat straightforward, but I will accompany you with a little bit of commentary when appropriate. Right after this checkpoint, you'll see the green lizard. You will have to jump off of his head in order to grab another character token. Make sure you watch out for the push pads if the timing on them is a little bit rough though. Additionally, here there will be a metal box on the left, which we will need to grab. There are 2 kind of strategies once you do hit it. You can either choose to hang deep left, or you can choose to go back to the middle to the right. Just make sure you're avoiding the fire pit kind of underneath it. You can take 1 hit from it if you have the idol though. For the first character token bonus area, all you need to do is kind of make sure you time everything and get off the TNT as fast as possible. And this one's not too bad. Just make sure you know the order and everything about the boxes. For these push plates, the order is you want to make sure that you go through the first one when both are pushed out. And for the second grouping, you want to go when all 3 of them are pushed out. And then you can jump across and continue forward. You will have to jump on this green lizard as well to get the box above him. And that's going to happen again, so make sure you, you stay 100% paying attention when you need to be. This should be your last character token as well for the second bonus level. Now, this bonus level can be quite tough if you don't do it 100% right. What I would recommend doing is making sure you spin off some of the top row of the crates. If you don't, it can be quite hard to time it and manage the amount of bounces you need to get through the area. So we're now at 80 boxes. This jump is a little bit tough. You have to make sure to land really short so that the tail of the lizard doesn't swipe you off. And then you got to make sure to grab him whenever you can. And now I would recommend you proceed. Use the last lizard to smash the box in the middle, which will automatically destroy the boxes in the back, granting you the colored gem right in front of you if you've done it without dying. This is my second time going through it, which is why the gem is not there. Now, after collecting the green gem, we can now go back to jungle rollers, and on this level we can finally collect all of the boxes because we have the gem, and we will have a new kind of elevator area that we can access that we previously weren't able to access. Now, all you want to do is kind of just go through the level, get all of the obvious boxes directly in front of you, make sure you jump on any boxes with arrows whenever possible, and you'll reach an area with this kind of green plate. And once you get on it, it'll kind of, ride you to the top. At the top there, we have 3 boxes that were previously uncollectible based on the fact that we didn't have the green gem. So once you grab those 3, just complete the level, and that should grant you the regular gem in jungle rollers. Next up, we'll be working on Temple Ruins. Overall, it's a decently easy level, but there's a lot of tricky little boxes. So near the beginning, grab the 3 that are there, obviously, and we'll continue on. There's a total of 67 boxes, by the way. Make sure you use the snake here to clear the boxes, and then continue forward. grabbing this extra life and the TNT as well while you're at it. Now grab this checkpoint and then use the snake to grab all the boxes. We are now at 21 out of 67. All of the kind of tricky ones are all in an area coming up pretty soon here. So we'll make our way through all of the crushy bits, as well as watching out for any of the bats when possible, jumping across and watching out for the snake as well. Luckily, this level does not have any character tokens or bonus levels to worry about, so we'll just continue to proceed here, going across this gap using the lift. Watch out for the cauldron. And then proceed. We are now at 40 out of 67. Grabbing this checkpoint will be pretty useful because we'll probably get killed. I actually died here quite a few times. This part can be pretty tricky. There's a couple of jumps that are a little blind. So we want to make sure to get across these, and there is some secret platforms over on the left here. So make sure you run across. If you have the power ability, you'll smash the wooden boxes as well. There's also a box above us, so make sure you grab that box as well. And then you should be at 59 out of 67 before leaving this area. And the rest are pretty easy to grab. And you should, pretty quickly be able to spot them on your way through the level. All right, next up we are working on Sunset Vista, grabbing the gem as well as the key. So this level is quite long. You'll notice in the walkthrough it's probably about 7 to 8 minutes long. And there's nothing like crazy hard about it. There are some tricky things I will point out though. One near the beginning coming up is very important. There is a secret switch you will need to interact with in order for stuff to spawn at the end of the level. So we're just kind of making our way through. We're not really focusing on too much. There aren't very many boxes near the beginning. But coming up right here, you'll notice this green lizard. You'll want to take him out. And then jumping across these platforms, watch out for the bats. Take out the other lizards. Watch out for more bats. And right here at this checkpoint, you'll run across. And coming up pretty soon is the really important switch. We are at 6 out of 90 and now 8 out of 90. So right here, inside of this cave, you'll need to jump. And you'll need to also swing your arms in order to get a secret switch. We can now proceed through the level for a bit. Alright, now coming up here, there is a little bit of a tricky bit. We need to use the red lizard in order to get him underneath the box so we can bounce up into it in order to spawn the boxes behind us. This will allow us to grab not only some boxes, but also a character token we wouldn't be able to grab otherwise. Additionally, another tricky character token is on top of these little platforms. Make sure you grab that as well. And last but not least, another very tricky character token, jump away from the screen and go behind in order to find a box right here, which will allow us to go into the next portal. Completing this bonus level will also get us a key, so you'll automatically pretty much pick that up as you exit the bonus level. You should be at 64 out of 90 total boxes as you exit, and you'll pick up your final character token just afterwards. Next up, we will go for Whole Hog. This level is actually decently easy. It's almost as easy as the other Hog level. Missing boxes is pretty hard to do, honestly, and feel free to use the checkpoints as many times as you need in order to complete the level, getting all of the boxes and then snatching up the gem right before the exit. For this one, the only tip I do have is to make sure that you know the difference between the holding jump, where you hold the button down, and the shorter jump, where you just press it lightly. You are going to have to hold your jump for a lot of these jumps in order to get enough distance. If you find yourself not getting enough distance, you need to hold your jump earlier than you would have if you weren't getting it. Next up, we have the boss level Koala Kong. This one's pretty simple. All you want to do is make sure you stay near the front of the screen. You don't accidentally touch the lava river. And then all you need to do is watch out for the exploding TNT. And then you can either dodge the rocks that the Kong throws at you, or you can just, spin in order to destroy the rocks. After a small phase, he will throw a large rock at you. You will need to dodge it and then spin it back at him. Make sure that the mine carts are not blocking him. If they're blocking him, you'll spin it back and he won't actually get damaged. It gets harder and faster with more TNT the longer you go, but overall this one's not too bad at all. Next up, we're going to work on the level Heavy Machinery. This level is quite long, around the 6-minute mark, even on a good run. And there are quite a few boxes. Luckily, we are able to use the checkpoint system as many times as we need in order to get through the level, making sure to grab all the boxes. There aren't too many crazy tricks, but there is one near the beginning of the level. You will need to drop down into a hole. So after taking out this TNT, grabbing this character token, you want to drop down into a hole right here. Now, from here, go left, and you can grab a couple of boxes and a new character token. There are 2 bonus levels in this area. Now, you can ride the lift back up to the top and then continue the level as you would have normally. This will allow us to grab all the boxes that would have been hidden in this area, as well as the extra character token that we would have been missing. Otherwise, just make your way through the level, watch out for any of the enemies when possible, and you should be on your way to completing it. Now, the next level we'll be focusing on is Generator Room, where you can grab a colored gem. This is the orange gem, which requires us to destroy all the boxes, as well as finish the level without dying. So this one's not too bad. There aren't very many hidden things. I will definitely join you back in commentary if there is anything hidden. You do need to make sure to get this metal box, and that'll spawn some boxes up near the top right corner of your screen. You'll also need to collect all of the character tokens when possible. So you'll run across this bridge and destroy these 5 boxes out here. And then you'll need to make sure to destroy the wooden boxes that created the bridge that got you here. And you can see I'm really struggling here with this box. But otherwise, just make sure you grab all the boxes on your way back. And then you can continue through the level. Again, make sure that you don't actually die. If you do die, I would probably just recommend that you finish off the level to get the practice in, and then restart it from the beginning and try to get a nice clean run. All of this is basically just pretty simple platforming and a lot of timing with enemies and stuff like that. So make sure you get used to the timing of the jumps. Make sure you get used to the enemy positions. And like I was saying, this one's not too bad. You'll get your 3rd character token here, and you'll do the bonus level now. The bonus level itself is super simple. There's 8 boxes that are just arranged in a row. Make sure you hold the jump button in order to get more hang time, though. This part can be a little bit tricky. I'd recommend riding the cart all the way to the end. You then want to do a jump and spin in order to get the middle block. If you do have the idle protection, you can just kind of smash the TNT and proceed like I did accidentally. At the very end of the level here, you will need to jump over and dodge a couple of obstacles. Again, if you have the idle, it does come in quite handy. However, on subsequent attempts after recording this video, I was able to quite easily complete the level without actually taking damage, but I didn't record it. Anyways, once you get all 55 boxes, complete the level without dying, and there you go. Your orange gem will await you before completing the level. Once you attain the orange gem from Generator Room, we can now complete Upstream earlier on in the game. We'll now have access to all the boxes. For the most part, the level doesn't remain too unchanged. You now have access to 1 more box, though. As you proceed, near the beginning, you'll find a tilted log that you would climb up. But now there should be some new platforms from the orange gems that allow you to go under and behind that log. So once you get to that section, you'll want to go underneath the log and make sure you spin around in order to destroy the hidden box that you actually won't be able to see off screen. Again, make sure to grab the box here. It's near the middle. You'll have to spin. You won't actually see the box, but you should be able to hear it, and you should be able to confirm your amount of boxes by pressing Y and seeing that increase. Another change to this level, once you have the orange gem, is the ability to go and hop on these platforms instead of finishing the level. This will take you past the exit to a new exit where you can get 2 more additional boxes as well as finish the level off. Next, we have the level Toxic Waste, which allows us to earn the colored blue gem, meaning we have to get all the boxes as well as not die in the level in order to earn this. Now, this level may seem very frustrating the first couple times you play it, but it's actually one of the easier ones once you get the hang of it and realize that there are small indentations in the ground where boxes are usually going to hit you once they're bouncing. Nonetheless, you will need to pick up the character tokens. You will want to obviously complete the bonus level in order to get all the boxes. Otherwise, there aren't too many hidden boxes or anything like that in this level. It's more just about being able to complete it in one go without dying. Now that we've earned the blue gem, we can return to an earlier level. This one is Rolling Stones. A pretty simple level overall. You should now see a new blue platform that you can take. It'll kind of take you underneath the level, which will allow you to earn, I believe, an extra 9 boxes that were previously unobtainable. Make sure you do grab the character token that we just bounced into, though. That one's a little bit tricky. Additionally, make sure that you don't accidentally melee one of the enemies into a box that contains a character token, as doing so will erase the character token. So, for example, right here as well, you will need to make sure to jump onto the far left in order to grab the character token before the TNT explodes all of these boxes and renders that useless. So make sure you're paying attention to all of the boxes, make sure you're grabbing all the character tokens, make sure you complete the 2 bonus levels and use the new blue platform. And within a couple of minutes, honestly, you should be able to grab the gem in the level Rolling Stones. Next up, we have Cortex Power, which we should be able to complete with the gems we have. Now, this level isn't too bad. It's on the shorter end. However, because at the very beginning of the level, there is a bit of a fork in the road, there is a lot of backtracking in this level, and there are not very many checkpoints, which means you'll have to do a pretty significant part of the level without any saves. However, you can die as many times as you need, as it's not a colored gem. So just make your way through the level, collecting all the boxes, backtracking when possible, using the gem platform when you need to, and you should be able to grab all 42 boxes. Also, in this next room, you do need to make sure to interact with the metal box in order to spawn the bridge at the very end, which you will need in order to grab all the boxes, since the bridge is made of boxes. So make sure you grab that metal box and grab these TNT ones before you kind of proceed. Also, you will want to backtrack to this location. There are supposed to be 2 boxes right here, but for some reason they were already destroyed for me. I did come back to make sure they were taken care of, though, so make sure you grab those 2. The next level we'll be doing is the boss battle for Pinstripe. This one has a very easy pattern, and I think it might actually be the easiest boss battle in the game. Now what you need to do is wait for him to run across the middle, and you'll need to spin into him. This will happen a few times, and once he reaches his kind of second phase, instead of running across the bottom, he will jump onto the desk to go across. So we're 3 hits in, and now he will jump onto the desk, and then his gun will jam on the bottom. After his gun jams, give him a good melee. Then he will go and do that same thing again. His gun will jam on the right-hand side this time. Once that happens, give him a good spin. And last but not least, he'll do that whole thing again, and his gun will jam while on the desk in the middle. Give him a nice spin to finish him off. Next up, we're doing the level The High Road. This is a normal gem, which means that we are able to die as many times as we need to and abuse the checkpoint system. From the very, very beginning, make sure you run into the screen to access the secret little planks that'll allow you to get an extra couple boxes at the back of the level. You can now continue forward, and remember that you can use the checkpoint system as many times as you need. This level does tend to give people trouble. Now you'll need to go over the turtles. The rest of the boxes are actually pretty easy in this level, in my opinion. As long as you can like complete the level, you know, quite regularly, you shouldn't have too many problems, in my opinion. You know, make sure you're grabbing the checkpoints, make sure you're grabbing the obvious boxes, make sure you're grabbing the character tokens, make sure you do the bonus level successfully, and you are on your way. There is a very important secret box right here that's on top of this metal box. You'll need to jump into it right there. Make sure you grab that, and you can also check up with me and your counter about how many boxes you have. I should show it here in a couple seconds, I believe. We are now able to go for our fourth color gem. This is the red gem available in Slippery Clime. Now, this level overall isn't too bad. It is quite daunting the first couple times you play it, but with a little bit of practice, it isn't too bad. Obviously the hard part here is to complete the entire level, which is quite long, around the 4-minute mark, without dying. You'll need to obviously make sure to grab all the boxes. None of them are particularly too secret. And you'll need to obviously also make sure to complete the bonus level and grab all of the boxes there. Obviously accessing the bonus level through the character tokens. So just take your time going through the level, remembering the patterns of all of the moving platforms. These ones are obviously really simple, but later on in the level they get a little bit more sporadic. So I would just recommend taking your time and making sure you are 100% confident with the movement pattern of a platform before attempting to jump onto it. And at the very, very end, you have 4 boxes as well as an enemy. So make sure you grab that enemy and take out the boxes, and then you should be able to grab your red gem near the end. The bonus level here is mostly about timing. You want to make sure that you can get through it pretty quick here, and then this jump at the end can be a little bit difficult, so make sure you kind of take your time it out, and get your bounces all nice and dandy. And overall, the bonus level isn't too bad. Now that we have the red gem, we can go back earlier into the game in order to complete Native Fortress. This one's one of the trickier ones in terms of how hidden the boxes are and what exactly you can do with the gem. So you'll make your way through the level collecting the 3 character tokens, focus on that first, then complete the bonus level, and eventually you will reach a platform with the red gem. Once you reach that platform, you will have to kind of go up into the sky and then use the clouds in order to get an additional 11 boxes that you wouldn't otherwise be able to grab. Again, here is that red gem platform you'll want to take up into the sky. Be careful going up and make sure you grab all of the boxes available here, and then use the clouds in order to kind of continue on this screen to grab all of the rest of the available boxes. Now, for this kind of giant stack of boxes, you can just grab all the apples if you prefer. I wanted to do it quickly, so I used my spin move to destroy the boxes a little bit more quickly than if I was just bouncing here for a solid 40 seconds. Next up, we can do the level Road to Nowhere, which is also now completable that we have the red gem. At the beginning, make sure you grab the first 3 and just make sure you are able to, go through the level at a decent pace. There's nothing crazy tricky about this other than to make sure you grab the 3 character tokens, do the bonus level, obviously, and you'll find a red platform that you can take to the right of the screen. Once you take that platform over, it can be a little bit tricky to figure out exactly what to do, but you should be able to figure it out. I would recommend taking the idol with you, though, in order to allow you to melee the TNT, just in case you're not able to get the proper jump you're supposed to on your first try. So I actually was unsuccessful in my first attempt, with the jump that the game wants you to do. But because I had my idol, I was able to just kind of melee my way through. So here's that red platform. You'll take it to the right here, and you'll do the jump, the little jump here across, and you want to make your way all the way to the right-hand side. Now, what you need to do is once you get all the way to the right, you want to interact with the metal box using the TNT. So once you get the timer going, it'll explode, and it'll show you some boxes here. Then you want to jump on this box and melee the metal box at the top. Now, I missed that, so I was able to just kind of melee the TNT, and then I was able to grab that middle box of the stack kind of floating above, which spawned an additional 4 boxes. At this point, you should be able to kind of just continue through the level. At the very end, there will be another red gem platform that you can ride to an additional 2 boxes you would otherwise not be able to attain. So make sure you grab that platform at the very end. It would be very hard for you to miss it, though. All right, so next up we're going to do Jaws of Darkness. We're grabbing the key as well as the gem. Now the key is going to basically be automatically attained if you go for all of the boxes, as if you complete one of the bonus levels with all of the boxes, you'll be granted the key before you exit that bonus level. So as long as we get all of the boxes, there's really nothing to worry about. The key will be kind of, unmissable. The level itself isn't too bad. We do have to worry about a couple of things. Near the beginning, just kind of make your way through. There's nothing you can really miss, or nothing that's particularly too complicated. You'll make your way through the level, watching out for the bats as well as the kind of smushy little pads there. Work your way across to the lift, and you'll be lifted to the left. Now, you have to transfer over, and then take the lift up to this area, and then jump into the screen, watching out for the spikes, and continuing forward. There's a couple things you definitely do want to note, so I'm going to be pointing those out pretty soon here. You want to make sure you grab the character token by not exploding it. So grab that character token, and obviously take care of the TNT. Use the spider to jump across, and then you can continue the level by going forward. Watch out for these little platforms. This level doesn't have very many checkpoints, so there's a couple of tricky sections, but overall you should be all right. Now, for that snake, take it out, and then instead of going forward, make sure you kind of go backwards into the screen. And make sure you come up on these metal boxes and grab a secret box right up here. You can see that I'm at 21 right now. And then continue along the path using the blue platforms. Now, as you kind of reach the end of the blue platforms, there's a couple things you want to keep an eye on. We're at 25 boxes right now, and one of each character token. Inside of here, there will also, there's just a ton of boxes. We're at 43 now. Inside of here, you want to make sure to grab the box above the TNT before moving on your way. We're now at 46. Grab all three of these boxes. You will have to do a chained jump between them. And then ride the blue platform back. That whole loop gets us about 20 to 30 boxes that we would have otherwise not gotten without the gem. Now be careful on the bats and the little slammy gate parts. Grab the box halfway through. If you have the idol, it'll help you kind of go, through this a little bit more easily. And grab this checkpoint. Now from this checkpoint, continue forward. And get up onto the lift. Then continue forward past all of the spikes, and instead of swatting the snake, make sure you jump on his head, which will allow you to grab this character token that you otherwise wouldn't have gotten. So we now have 3 total tokens. Get the TNT to blow up, use the cauldron to get across, and now at this intersection right here, you want to jump to the left in order to find this secret area. Watch out for the spikes and jump forward in order to find your 3rd character token for Neo Cortex, and we can now do his bonus level. Completing this bonus level will also grant you the key for the Jaws of Darkness level. The key will spawn right before the portal leaving out of this area. After his bonus level, you can jump forward and use the hidden platforms to jump back to the right. And then you should be able to get your 5th out of 6 character tokens. Grab the boxes right here and continue forward along the level. We are now at 88 out of 112. Smashing this final box will give you a character token, allow you to complete the final bonus level. Grabbing all 23 boxes in this final bonus level will allow us to have all 112, which will allow us to complete the level with the gem at the end. The next level we can do is Fumbling in the Dark. This level does require you to go quite quickly, as you will run out of your lamp with your, your little idle light. So if you are too slow on some of the patterns and stuff, you won't have enough light to guide you through the rest of the level. So you gotta be kind of quick. You want to start the level by jumping into the screen and grabbing all 8 of the boxes available in the kind of first little area. And then the rest of the level is pretty much basic platforming. You want to take your time with the platforms. There are some moving platforms. There are some platforms that will disappear underneath your feet. Overall, this one's not too bad because you can use as many checkpoints as you need. And as long as you grab all the boxes, you will eventually be given the gem at the end of the level. Additionally, there's one section at the end of this level where if you do it in one try the entire level, you will most likely run out of light. And then you'll have to do it in the dark, like basically blind. That's intended for people who want to do this level in one go. But if you do fail, you should be able to get a new light given to you right before the end of the level. So even if you do fail, no matter where you fail in this level, you should be able to grab a light and figure it out quite easily. All of the boxes, other than the kind of 7 that are behind you at the beginning, are pretty obvious. Alright, the next level we'll be going for is Castle Machinery. From the very beginning, you can grab the gem lift if you want. That'll get you around 30 to 40 new lives added to your save. You can also, after doing that, end the level and then save the game, load your save, and repeat this process over and over to basically grab as many lives as you need, up to 99. Once you do grab 99, you'll also unlock an achievement or trophy, so feel free to do that if you so desire, and if you have the gem platform there. But otherwise, you want to complete the level. It's pretty basic. You will need to know all the jumps. You will need to be pretty agile. You will need to, be pretty competent in the game's controls. But you can die as many times as you need to and refresh on the checkpoints. And all you need to do is complete the level. There are, I believe, 27 boxes, although none of them are particularly incredibly difficult by any means. They're all pretty obvious, and you'll see me pick up all of them along the way. A lot of them are found later on in the level, though. As you can see, we're about a third of the way through and only have 3 out of 27. We are on to the next boss battle, Dr. Nitrous Brio. This boss battle isn't too bad. There is an obvious pattern you will need to somewhat learn. He'll start by throwing some green liquid. Whenever he throws green liquid, you need to jump on it in order to squeeze out the poison in order to hurt him. It'll go 1 and then 1 purple and then 2 green, 2 purple, and then so on and so on. The green blobs do try to attack you, so make sure that you are careful whenever they are jumping. They do jump on a timer. Otherwise, just dodge when you can. Dodging, I would recommend sitting as far back as possible, and then dodging when appropriate. And at the very end, you will have a second phase. For that phase, all you need to do is step onto the obvious rocks that appear, and you have to be very, very patient. Make sure that you allow him to get quite close to you before you try to jump on his head. Jumping on his head from too far is usually how you're going to get yourself killed in this boss battle. Next up, we have the lab. This allows us to earn the yellow colored gem. It is, obviously, we'll need to complete the level, all the boxes without dying. We do need to grab all of the character tokens and do the bonus level. For this level, a lot of the things in the level are triggered by the metal boxes with the exclamation points. So for example, those will open doors, those will create walkways for you to get across certain gaps, so you'll need to pay attention to those whenever possible. Additionally, there's some enemies in this level that don't really exist anywhere else in the game, so you will need to be very careful with those. The green blobs will spawn. You'll need to kind of sidestep them. There will be the kind of mad scientist with the electricity arms that you'll need to kill, and to get him, you'll need to melee him when he's not electrocuted, and then kind of jump around him. Overall, this level is not too bad in terms of its complexity, but it is quite difficult to get a perfect run in without, without actually dying. And then the bonus level also does have a little bit of a trick. There is a hidden box off screen at the very top you'll need to grab. You can die in the bonus level, which is good though, so keep that in mind. When you do complete the level, you should earn the yellow gem. With the yellow gem earned, we can now go back to near the beginning of the game in order to do the level of the Great Gate. Now, the beginning of the level is going to be the exact same. Grab all the obvious boxes, make sure you get the 3 character tokens and do the bonus level. And the only thing that is changed in the level is that right before you exit, you will have a yellow gem that you can ride. The gem will take you behind the exit of the level, and basically there was another complete, like another half of the level that you were never able to access. There is a very tricky and very secret box that's kind of behind the fence. I will point it out once we get there. But just basically continue through the level through the obvious path and grab all the boxes you can until you get there. Again, so this is where the level would normally end. We're going to take that yellow platform around the exit. We're going to continue through the level. Now, most of the boxes here you should you should obviously see. There's one a little bit to the right here we'll want to grab and try to get back on the first bounce there if possible. And then we'll continue forward. There's another box. We should now be at 32. Kill this flower and then go past this area. What you want to do is right here coming up is something very important. You want to run forward and jump across, kill this dude, and kill the flower as well. And you want to use this box jump in order to go behind the fence. And right now you can see me running from left to right behind the fence, and pretty deep in this area there is a box. So you just want to kind of keep running back and forth and keep spinning until you can get to 35 boxes. Behind the gate. At this point, you can now jump back into the foreground and you can complete the level, grabbing the last 3 boxes on your way to the exit and grabbing 38. The only kind of hard part here is obviously knowing you have to go there, and the other hard part is the fact that you don't get another checkpoint from all the way from before, so you kind of have to be careful here with a lot of the jumps and stuff. If you die, you will get set back quite a bit away. Next up, we have the level Lights Out with a colored purple gem. You actually do have to come back to this level after getting one of the other gems. This is the only colored gem level where you can't get the colored gem the first time you play it. So 2 boxes, you just kind of run straight through the level. This one is really, really easy. You'll get to 12 boxes just following the main path. And then eventually you will reach a colored platform that wasn't there the first time you played the level. That'll take you upwards on top of the level, and there will be a second exit as well as 3 additional boxes that you weren't able to previously grab, allowing you to complete the level without dying, grabbing all 15 boxes. Once you've earned the purple gem from the previous level, Lights Out, we can now go back to the level called Boulder Dash. This one's a very, very simple level. All of the boxes on the main path are extremely obvious. The only thing that changes now that we've earned the purple gem is at the very end, instead of finishing the level, we can take a purple platform down and underneath the level. Once we take that platform down, we can find about 18 boxes that were previously unavailable to us. Smash all the boxes, make sure you don't get killed by an enemy, and complete this level with a new and fresh gem. Last but not least, we have the final boss battle with Dr. Neo Cortex. In this boss battle, you'll follow the same pattern that we followed for a lot of the boss battles, actually. So you'll be dodging any of the purple, you'll be returning the green by spinning into it. If you miss the green, it's fine, it'll just repeat the same phase until you're able to complete it. They get harder and harder as they progress, but they are the same every time you play them. So you can quickly memorize the pattern after a few tries. Again, if you're unable to return a green, it'll just kind of repeat that same pattern until you're able to return the amount that the game wants you to return, which is actually what happens to me here in this kind of final phase. Once you completely deplete his health, he will die, you will sail off, and the game will complete. I will show you after this that I did earn the achievement, obviously, for beating him. And I'll show you the kind of the normal ending of the game, the ending that most people are going to get. And that would happen after this boss battle if you don't have all 26 of the gems. Now, last but not least, with all 26 of our gems, we can now go to the Great Hall and access the secret ending, or the 100% ending, or the alternate ending, or the real ending, whatever you want to call it, the ending that isn't just like the normal basic ending. With all of the gems, you should now have all these platforms available for you to jump on inside of the Great Hall. Once you reach the very end of the Great Hall, you'll unlock the cinematic where, you ride off with Coco and save the world and stuff. It'll give you a small kind of brief description of what happened with every boss, and that's your 100% ending if you so desire. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. All three of those things are incredibly helpful. Hopefully more Crash videos to come. Special thanks to the amazing people on Patreon who do support the show. And hopefully I see you guys next time. Peace.